I've had Gangs of Wasseypur thrown out of theatre while it was doing very well because Ek Tha Tiger had to come out. So, that's what we are dealing with.
I'm Abhinandan Sridhar for Vice India. आज हम दिल्ली में हैं to speak with Anurag Kashyap and Vikramaditya Motwane about their brand new Netflix original Sacred Games. I'm about to pick their brain about how they turned a 900-page source material novel into an 8-episodic series. I think it's going to be bawal. Chalo, dekhte hain.
कौन?
सुनो ना, जब तक ये खेल खत्म नहीं होगा अपन इधर ही है.
So first things first, I really want to know, was it Netflix who came to you guys with Sacred Games, or was it the other way around?
It wasn't me. Sacred Games there was a lot of interest in doing it in Hollywood and as a TV show in the West, and I think it had done a few rounds of a lot of different studios and networks, and then Netflix picked up the rights, and then they got in touch with us because they were looking for a partner in India to make their first Indian original. So they got in touch with us, and then after that we started working on it.
900 page की किताब है. How did you guys go about first doing the whole tod fod and then reconstructing it for screen?
Tod fod happened. Tod fod नहीं हुआ. It's just like, I think with any novel, there are different mediums, there are different formats, they're written for a different audience. I don't think you can, other than if you're Chetan Bhagat, you can't really write something as a novel which you know you're going to make into a film at some point in time. So I think that's a normal process that goes through when you turn a novel into a dramatic material. You have to make it more conflict heavy, you have to make it more dramatic, you have to make the characters more active and not so passive. That was the process that sort of went through. Yeah, but 900 pages was quite, I think reading them first before even getting to it was the Herculean task. I don't think adapting it was the Herculean task.
And direction duties, how did you guys manage to split it up?
It's all his call. He is the showrunner. I just directed what he asked me to.
So this is a term we've been hearing quite a lot, the showrunner, and I think it's a kind of a novel term now coming into the Indian space.
A showrunner is the man who actually gives the most time. In the sense, he sat down, he created the writer's room, he dealt with Netflix. I actually came on board after Saif, after Radhika, after Nawaz.
Okay.
So I don't know what happened before that. I know what happened after that.
Okay. So you as a showrunner, is that something as a novel concept, or how did you?
It is. I had to kind of Google it the first time I saw it to sort of figure out what. No, but then you realize that you don't, when you see TV shows, when it says things like executive producer, created by, that kind of stuff, and especially like, for example, Breaking Bad. I mean, Vince Gilligan is one of my favorite creators. You realize what a showrunner actually sort of like means. Like, he just directed the first episode, everybody else, he got other directors on board after that. You set a tone. What Netflix calls, you're the constant creative voice in the show, in the sense that it's just like it's coming. So you're basically sort of like taking creative calls and all that kind of stuff. It's a great role because you can be very objective about certain kind of things. It helps to have creative people around you and you're just sort of like molding them. It's kind of like directing in a sense.
Is it also the kind of job that you can't do a lot hands-on? Like you take a step back and you let the others do it?
It's kind of up to you how hands-on you want to be.
I can't do it. I would never do it.
Why not?
I'm a filmmaker.
I think you make a damn good showrunner. Because he lets a lot of, I'm a little bit more controlling. He lets a lot of people be. So I think in that sense you'll be a good showrunner because sometimes it might get out of your hand.
All the episodes will
go out of your hands.
All the episodes will look like they're different shows.
But there is that factor as well, that it could look different when you're splitting direction duties as well.
I don't think that could have. Between us, though, I don't think.
So how did
we've been working together too long with each other too?
I also think we wanted it deliberately. Yeah. He directed the Nawaz portions, I directed the Saif portions, and because it's two parallel stories that sort of like take place in the series.
So we are looking at a scenario where there's one episode and both of you have directed.
All episodes we both have directed.
Okay. And were you present in on each other's sets?
Not at all. Never.
No.
We had never. I have never been on his set even when I was his producer.
Okay.
And I only go on a set the first day of shoot to shake his hand and wish him best of luck and then bye-bye.
So, directing for a theatre versus directing for an application?
No, there's no difference. I thought I was making a movie.
Okay.
I treated it like I was making a movie. My process has been exactly the same from my first movie to now.
Okay. Vikram?
I think you just slightly change because, okay, you're not making it for a big screen, therefore you have to maybe...
You had to work faster.
Work much faster. You have to work much faster. And you also realize that it's actually the most important people, which is even a film also the actors are, but I think that it becomes more about performance, more about bringing out the performances, not so much about, acha, ye shot lete hain, followed by that shot. It's just, you're focusing on drama. Your focus becomes drama, and maybe those are lessons that we should take back into feature films actually. Probably. But yeah, you just realize that maybe you're doing it for a small screen, so you won't take as many long shots. You'll try to keep it more that's the only difference. Otherwise, the whole approach is exactly like a feature. Yeah.
With something like Netflix, like within the same episode, you can have someone who jumps from a 6-inch to a 14-inch to a 45 to 60-inch. So, is that something that you factor in this
I
whole?
hope no one watches it on 6-inch. Yeah. That would just be like sad, man.
But I mean, it is something
sure
that people
will,
are going to do with your.
I was on a flight where one of the film industry people were on the flight
Watching the film.
and watching something on the phone. So, there it is.
Going back to the jitters before a release on a Friday versus this releasing on an application. How are your sentiments about that?
I actually, even when my movie comes out, I don't have jitters. I have Monday disappointments or Monday elation, mostly disappointments. But I really, for me, when I deliver my film gets over. Once I've got the censor certificate, I switch off. Once I've got my final cut, I switch off. I have actually move on and do the next. And because I waited too long for March to come out, and I realized such a waste of time. If the film fails, I'll ask my producer, okay, how much budget am I gonna get to do this? But I still want my freedom. So that's how I work.
So that's something you've fairly got this time around with Secret
I've
Games.
got it all my life. I'll take it. There's no other way I work.
No, I agree with him. I think once the work is done, the work is done. There's not much you can do. I think what the Netflix takes away is that anger that we all end up having on Friday and Saturday towards the entire fact that the film could have been better marketed and better distributed and all kinds of stuff, which has been our fight throughout our entire lives, I think.
It's also, Bliss, it's like we don't make the kind of movies that the audience waits on a Friday to go and see. Our audience is also a kind of a cinema literate or educated audience that also has things to do. And they do watch our films, but at their own time. For our films, the word of our mouth builds up. One big, massive superstar film comes out and throws out of the theatre. I've had Gangs of Wasseypur thrown out of theatre while it was doing very well because Ek Tha Tiger had to come out. So, that's what we are dealing with. So, it needs growth. But that's allowed in countries that has cinema and that does that. Indian exhibitors are Friday to Monday. One big film is coming in.
Yeah. They
know the content is the star. Yeah. The star is the content. But they don't believe in content.
So that's not the case with Sacred Games. You know that anytime you want, it's there. It's there forever.
People will watch it.
Yeah, I suppose even in the pre-Netflix era, your films have been more
popular. My career is based
on
downloads.
On the internet.
Yeah.
If people were not downloading movies, I wouldn't have had a career.
So we'll just wrap up. I want to know what you guys are watching on Netflix.
Me? I am watching Crown episode a day. A night, sorry. My last thing before I go to sleep, I'm about to finish Crown now.
Okay. How are you liking it?
I love it. Rest of the day I watch other things on Netflix. But my last thing in the day is watch one episode of Crown.
Why don't you give us a few recommendations?
Staircase, Dark. What else did I see? Lamante. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a French serial thing about this woman who's in a prison. Or kya tune dekha tha abhi? Evil Genius you were talking about.
I've been watching docus. I've been watching Icarus, Evil Genius.
Yeah, Icarus is amazing.
Icarus, Evil Genius, the one, I can't remember the name again.
I saw this amazing movie called Revenge.
The most recent thing I saw which I liked very much was Lust Stories.
Lust Stories, yeah? Oh my God, thank you. I have a fan.
thank you. That's about it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for doing Wise Talks Film. Chalo, bye.
Bye.
Oof.